Across the many shows on television, we typically see rankings made of the top 10 episodes. Sometimes your ranking aligns with the community, other times you're the odd one out with a very interesting opinion on the episode you like. What if I told you that the show in this video isn't actually on TV, but on YouTube? Yes, this is actually a channel that has their own set of seasons, 7 at the time of this recording. Now I know what you're thinking, what the heck is the McBloke Show? Well, this channel is run by two twin brothers, Ian and Jason. Ian is a kind and cheeky guy despite acting like an idiot, and Jason is actually pretty smart, even if he does act like an idiot too. These two have pumped out 7 seasons of absolutely bonker episodes with lots of yelling, cringe overload, and moments that honestly can get a laugh out of you. So today I will showcase my personal top 10 episodes across their channel as a way to convince you to watch this absurd yet intriguing YouTube channel. Before we get going, disclaimer, this channel is rated M for mature and shouldn't be watched by younger audiences. If you're under the age of, 17 to 18, please pause this video and come back another time. With that out of the way, let's take a look at my top 10 episodes from The McBloke Show. What could be worse than not being able to play Among Us? Playing Among Us only to disconnect nearly every game. Kicking off the top 10 is Internet Down Under, Season 5, Episode 19. We've all been prone to the awful suffering of disconnecting from lobbies, but none of those moments surpass the fiasco Ian and Jason go through in this episode. Now, due to them being from Nation Down Under, these two just never get on track as they constantly disconnect, leading to endless screams of agony. There isn't much to highlight this episode as Gold has to carry the burden of handling the imposter games with a 6-win record. Still can't comprehend how he got that many imposter games. The gameplay is your traditional Among Us nonsense, but these two elements do a fine job stirring up trouble that's borderline leaving you waiting for the next disconnect to occur. The screams do get tiring after a while, and Ian not being able to tell a story for story time was just hard to sit through. Seriously guys, I just want to hear a story. At number 9, we have Racist Mexican Joins, Season 7, Episode 4. Ah yes, the one episode where the video almost gets demonetized if it wasn't for minced oaths. Those are words that replace swear words, if you didn't know. Funny how Jason gets turned into a joke this episode. First, his computer breaks down, so he's forced to handicap himself with an older model. Then he somehow loses the easiest imposter game due to his own arrogance. And yes, his Spanish here is pretty horrendous. CSW's comment of the day, timed with Gold's death, has me convinced that this was planned ahead of time. Is CSW secretly Eisen? We may never know. Ian and Jason's side-by-side disconnect leading to a controversial game conclusion still has me thinking who's truly right. What really sells this episode for me is that it strikes the perfect balance between beautiful chaos and calming silence. I found the telemarketer portion kind of funny, despite how simple it is. The little segment with Team Jason taking control of the whole lobby was kind of dumb, but maybe that's because I'm already on Team Niceness. The Smile Squad always wins. Oh, and bring back Stopin. He's a really nice chill guy to have for videos. At number 8 is Keith's Gill Advice, Season 6, Episode 5. I can't believe an episode featuring Keith giving love advice would be ridiculously entertaining. While Ian spends the episode being scared of the dark, Keith takes the time to give the audience some advice on relationships. Spoilers, everything he says is all meant for jokes, do not attempt everything said. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the FNAF games since I find them pretty boring, but Ian plays this game in a way that makes me just as nervous as he is, and that says a lot since I'm not even playing. Honestly, the only reason that this makes it to number 8 is that Ian's constant cowardice along with Keith's maddening speech are able to make the gameplay entertaining to watch and listen to. I don't know, I need a reason to put this on number 8. Is this good enough for you guys? At number 7 is Ian Grieves Everything, Season 7, Episode 1. Before giving the main synopsis, respect to Jason for spending all that time getting resources and building this. All of this while he plays on some really high graphics that could rival the current IMAX cameras for filming. The best way to summarize this episode is Jason glazing himself. He spends most of the runtime boasting about his accomplishments in comparison to Ian, hence the title. Ian literally has to grieve over the fact that he has lost the spotlight on the channel and has become everyone's favorite punchy bag from here on out. A true train wreck of an episode on the McBloke Show, which ironically is what I love about it. Seeing Jason take the high ground as Ian sinks lower and lower into a lost soul is just fascinating to witness. Truly a delightful mess. Just missing the top 5 is Lily Owns and Ian Moans, Season 6, Episode 4. No episode has a better character introduction on this channel than Nilly Lily, a proud Team Niceness supporter who advocates for story time. I usually like to reference this episode as Ian's bully time, but it's true. Ian getting voted out for just existing is truly a sad sight to behold. Then again, he did somehow get the wrong person when the imposter literally killed in front of him, so it is what it is. If you ask me, I don't think any of Ian's stories are top tier, but it makes good content, so I'll let it slide. Lily's heel turn to Team Jason only to lose that very game is so satisfying to watch. I mean, he does win the next imposter game, but no matter. Just like with number 8 on this list, I can't narrow down why I like this episode a lot. It's something you feel while watching it rather than just being put into words. Starting in the top 5 we have Microphone and Toilet, Season 4, Episode 24. An episode with such a bizarre title has no reason being so funny. Although my number 1 does have better timed humor, when this episode is funny, wow, it's just on another level. Most of the episode's off-the-rails synergy comes from me being a complete moron. After Redev somehow snitches on himself, the final vote should be clear. He's getting voted off, no questions asked. Yeah, about that?
I wouldn't lie to you.
Oh my god! No way! No way! No!
Are you kidding me? You absolutely wait.
You got no
How many
way!
times I tell you?
That actually.
My Discord didn't properly work at the time, so I didn't even hear Redev and Quackity and just went along with my gut feeling. I was wrong. Later I managed to redeem myself by getting my first ever imposter win on this channel, just for that character development to lose meaning after I foolishly voted out Jason instead of Ian. Ian celebrates his unearned win by humming Infernal Gallop. Of course this pick is a little biased, but that aside, I think this shows how Among Us isn't always a straightforward game. It's full of twists and turns that'll make anyone go insane. The arc I go through coming full circle at the end shows how much I sucked at this game back then. Now if you're wondering about the microphone in the toilet, I wouldn't worry about that. At number 4 is Jason Hires Bodyguards, Season 6, Episode 1. What a way to start off the best season on the channel. Ian getting chased in Minecraft. The question is, how did we get here? Well, long story short, Ian basically messed around with Jason and paid the consequences for it. This combined with his terrible Canadian joke that didn't even make sense was enough to justify this witch hunt. Never have I ever seen an episode where Jason, Gold, and Nilsson have so much cohesion together, yet why should I be surprised? They all love bullying Ian. The amount of build-up done to the climax of this episode was just amusing. A simple broken window was all it took to cause a rampage after Ian. That's literally it. That alone would have been dumb, however the video has a pace that allows us to learn more about Jason's personality. He likes gardening, his friends, and of course, his house. Whereas his one dislike is, yep, you guessed it, Ian. More so when Ian touches his stuff without permission. So when you see Ian break a tiny portion of Jason's house, you're looking at a good example of cause and effect. Unfortunately, due to Jason and his 2 bodyguards taking their hunt a bit too far, the final act of this episode ends with Ian dumping lava onto Jason's home. Now that's some good karma right there. At number 3 is Hide and Seek, Season 7, Episode 9. Yes, now this is how you get highlights from an Among Us video. As the title suggests, this one's all about hide and seek, so you know chaos is about to happen. This episode tackles the struggles of playing on Scaled, which to me is not the best map, but I digress. Disagreements over others' humors and names, and the consequences of simply not paying attention. There are many highlights you could pick here, like CSW's name reveal, Jason's inability to vent, or even my terrible singing. I apologize to everyone who had to hear this. The best, however, is Jason getting distracted by me, leading to his own death. Now, should I have let Jason do his job? Probably, but like I said,
You kind of deserve it.
what I like about this video is that the competition here isn't overly competitive, but rather just playful like a good old friend group. That's all you need to be entertaining sometimes. Surprising winners, anticlimactic endings, and of course, idea time. This idea from Ian, having pillows on the front of cars to prevent crashes, is probably his most absurd idea, yet it's hilarious how much he tries to sell this. Maybe next time, Ian. At number 2 is New Beginnings, Season 1, Episode 1. The episode that started it all. Some premieres start off with a bang, others with a thrill, but this one is just chill. Something about seeing Ian and Jason hang around in their Minecraft server doing shenanigans is just nice to see. Not every video needs to be over the top exciting. Sometimes it's nice to kick back and just relax watching people be goofballs. You get to see the roots of the channel to come here as Ian and Jason are still getting used to capturing the vibe on their channel. Awkward silences, clumsy interactions, and the calm yet stunning Minecraft world is a solid way to prepare viewers for what lays ahead. In this day and age where you're guaranteed to hear a scream every 5 seconds or so, a good old laid back approach is necessary to balance those energy levels out. Even as a standalone video, you could view this as a little mini-series of Ian and Jason playing Minecraft together trying to beat the game. I mean, what could be better than that? The greatest episode of the McBloke Show and my personal favorite is Team Ian vs Team Jason, Season 6, Episode 25. Honestly, who knew that the perfect episode would be about playing soccer and ice hockey in Super Tux Kart? It's a crazy concept that was executed perfectly from start to finish. Ian's team, which consisted of Ian, CSW, and Doubleblade, was pitted against Jason's team, which consisted of Jason, Nielsen, and Redev, who's just there. Here you will find what I like to call the downfall of Jason's revolution. This episode begins with some nice smack talk before heading into our first match. You honestly couldn't ask for a more entertaining soccer match if you wanted to. Ian fumbles his way by scoring a solid majority of goals, including on his own team, which helped the team catch up after Jason masterfully executed precise goals for his team. It comes down to the wire, but sadly Jason's team prevails with a score of 5-4. But just when all hope was lost, a hero from that team emerged. Of course, I'm talking about Nielsen. Thanks to his selfless act of throwing, Team Ian turned the tide and embarrassed Team Jason with an absurd record. I'll let you watch the video to see it for yourself. What makes this my personal favorite episode from the channel is that everything everyone does or says is just perfect. The jokes and insults land well with every interaction, the cuts to each POV don't miss, and like I said before, the story let out here was executed with perfection. Every time I watch this video, I never get bored or even try to skip a few seconds forward, something I've done literally for every other episode on the list. This is probably the best episode here in terms of pacing, editing, comedy, action, and story arcs. Why do you think they've never done soccer and ice hockey on the channel again? It's because you just can't top this masterpiece of an episode. And there you have it, my top 10 episodes from the McBloke Show. Do you guys agree with my opinion? Let me know down in the comments if you have other favorite episodes. As always, it's my pleasure to entertain you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.